Okay, this is circles revision for Year 8, and we're continuing from question 16. Now, in this question, we're asked to find the area, which is the area inside. So if I could shade it, I would. So we want the area of this semicircle. Remember, a semicircle is half a circle. Now, if I put a drawing of a circle over here, I've just drawn a full circle. So when we're asked to do semicircles, we should start off doing our working for a full circle first. So if I work out the area of a full circle, what I can then do is halve it. So I'll just put my full circle over here. And the first thing that we should do, we should say, right, whenever you're asked to find anything about a semicircle or even a quarter of a circle like down here, you should always start and work out the area, in this case, of the full circle. So we know that the formula for the area of a circle is area equals pi r squared, because there's only one formula for area of a circle. So I'm just going to write that near here. So I'm going to put full circle, area equals pi r squared. Now we look at our diagram here and we see if we've got r or 5. It says find the area of a semicircle with radius 5. See on the diagram the distance from the center to the outside is 5. So I'll just put here that I know that the radius is 5. So I can use this formula, area equals pi r squared, because I've got the radius. So for the full circle, actually what I'll do, I'll shade in the full circle over here. So I've got a full shaded in circle. So the area of the full circle is pi times r squared, which is pi times 5 squared. And I'll just work out what that is. So pi times 5 squared on my calculator. I'm getting 78.5398. That should be enough decimal places. I'll just put ... Now don't clear that answer on your calculator. Just keep it there, because that's the area of a full circle. Now, if you want to do a half circle, if you want the area of a half circle, I'm just going to draw a half circle over here. So here, I've still got a full circle, but if I cover part of it, I'll just fix that up. So there's my full circle over here. And what I've got here, I'm going to halve that circle. Now that's the same as what I've got there. I need the area of that semicircle, so it's all the shaded bit inside. So full circle is 78.53. So therefore my half circle will be whatever answer I got for the full circle, which was 78.5398. And I need to divide that by 2 because I've only got half of that circle there, so I've only got half of it. So keep the answer on your calculator, 78.5398, and whatever the other decimal places are, and then just press divide by 2 on your calculator, and then I get 39.2699. I don't need any more decimal places than that, because we can see all the answers given here are to 2 decimal places. So what we're going to do, we're going to round our answer off to do 2 decimal places as well. So remembering, so I need to go 39.2 something. So I decide, is it going to be 26 or is it going to be 27? So to decide on that 6, which is the second decimal place, I need to look at the third decimal place. Now the third decimal place is a 9. Now that 9 is bigger than 5. It's almost 10. So what happens is this 6 is almost now a 7, because the 9 is close to 10 and it's bigger than 5. So it becomes 39.27. And we can see that the answer is up there. It's answer A. So 39.27 meters squared, because always the units of area are meters squared. And that's the end of question 16. Now looking at question 17. And question 17 says find the area of this figure. Now this figure is it's part of a circle. It's actually a quarter of a circle. It's a quadrant. So if I put a full circle over here in red, you can see that the shape that they're asking you to find the area of is actually a quarter. There's my full circle. This one that we want the area of is a quarter of the circle. So whenever you're asked for part of a circle, the best thing to do is work out the full circle first, and then you'll work out the part of the circle after that. So let's look at the question again. Find the area of this figure. We know it's part of a circle, so we'll use the formula for area of a circle. Now, the formula for area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. Before we can use that formula, we need to know what r is. Now, r is the radius. Have they given us the radius or diameter? After drawing that red circle there, we can see we've got the radius, the distance from the center to the outside. So I'm just going to put here that I know that r, radius, is 3 centimeters. So now I'm going to start with my question. So I'm going to say, I've just got to look for some room here. So I'll just go full circle. I'm going to put my full circle up here. I've got a bit of room. So my full circle formula is that area equals pi r squared. So it's pi times 3 squared. I just worked that out on my calculator. So pi times 3 squared, and my answer is 28.27433. I don't really need to write more decimal places than that, so I'll just keep my answer like that. Now, we can see that we've actually got, if I move that circle back there, you know that you've got quarter of the circle. So my next step should be working out what quarter of my circle is. So we write the quarter area of the quarter of a circle will be whatever answer I had in the first part, which was 28.27433. I don't know if I'm going to have enough room here. I'll just squash it over there. So what you do, you keep your answer in your calculator from this part. Don't clear it, because the next part we're saying that the area of the quarter of a circle, which is what you've got. Now, the special word for quarter of a circle is called a quadrant, but you can just write quarter circle. So the area of quarter of the circle is that answer. Keep it on your calculator, and now just press divide by 4 on your calculator, and you get that the area is 7.06858. Now, we can see all my answers here are to 2 decimal places, so we need to round this off to 2 decimal places. Now, let's try not to look at the answer over there. We're going to round it, and we'll just see what we've got. Now, we can see that we've got 7.068. Now, we have to decide on the second decimal place, which is the 6. So what we need to look at is the third decimal place, which is the 8. Now, that 8 is bigger than 5, okay? So because it's bigger than 5, that means that the 6 in front of it needs to be rounded up to one number higher, which is 7. So my answer will be 7.07. Now, it's area, so the units have to be squared units, so we write 7.07 centimetres squared. And that's the end of question 17. Now, in question 18, we're asked to find the perimeter of this semicircle. Now, this is a bit different to doing the area problems, because the perimeter of the semicircle is the distance around the circle. Now, you have to see that you've got 2 pieces. You've got the curved bit there, so we've got the curved part of the circle. I'll just write it, draw it down there. And you've got the straight line bit of the circle. So if I put those 2 bits together, like down here, that's what makes up the shape. So it's the curved bit and the straight line bit. Now, that curved bit is half of the circumference of a circle. So I'm actually going to put them all in. So what I'm going to do, we're going to see, where do we get this curved bit of the circle? It's half a circle. Before you can work out half a circle, you really should be working out the full circle. So that's how we're going to start our working out. So to start with, you really should look at your original shape and you say, well, that's made up of 2 pieces. That half a circle curved piece up there, plus, I'm just going to try and put a plus there. So that shape, that distance around the outside, which is the perimeter, is made up of the half circle there, plus this straight line bit. So I've drawn them over there. Now, it really is a good idea to draw this out, draw out all your pieces before you start. That way you know that you just need half the circle there and the straight line piece. So we'll start here. When you need to do half a circle, you should always do the full circle first. So here I've got my full circle. Now I'm going to put it over the other one just so that you can see whether you've got radius r or d diameter. Now, if I put the circle over on top of the question again, I can see I've got the distance all the way across, so I've actually got d, the diameter. So remember, with circumference, you've got two formulas that you can choose from. And the two formulas that you can choose from for, circumference of a circle are circumference equals pi d or circumference equals 2 pi r. Now, as we said before, we have the diameter of the circle, so we have to use that formula there, that circumference equals pi d. So I'm going to start here again, and I'm going to say, right, I've got a full circle, so I use my formula circumference equals pi d because I know that the d from up here is 3. So circumference equals pi d, which is pi times 3, and the answer for pi times 3 on my calculator is 9.42, and I'll just put a few more decimal places, 77, that'll do. See, my answer needs 2 decimal places. If I put about 4 decimal places in here, that should be enough. So I've done my full circle. The next step for me to do is to work out my half circle. So I can draw that again if I want. And I can just do my working out. So if my full circle was 9.42 as my answer, then my half circle is 9.4277. Now, keep that answer in your calculator. So when you get this answer here, don't clear it. Just keep it there. So I can go half circle, C for circumference equals 9.4277 divided by 2. So I'm just pressing divide by 2 on my calculator. And I'm getting 4.7123. That'll do at the moment. So that's my half circle. Now remember, I also have to add on what the straight line bit is. So I'll just draw that here as well. So my straight line bit, we know, is, looking at that diagram, it's 3 centimeters. So I'll just write that in on that line. So I'm just putting 3 centimeters on that line because I know it's 3 centimeters. I'll also just put this little plus here. So we know we have to add those two together. So my last bit of working is what I'm going to work out the perimeter to be. So we've got our half circle and we've got our straight line. And so therefore the perimeter is going to be, sorry, I just need to move everything over here. So my perimeter is those two measurements added together. So it's going to be 4.7123 plus the 3 centimeters. And so my answer is, so adding 3 onto that, I get 7.7123 ... And I can now round that off to how many decimal places I need. And if we look at the question, all the answers are to 2 decimal places. So I'll just go that, round that off to 2 decimal places now. And we go that it equals 7.7. Now, is it going to stay as a 1 or is it going to change? So to decide on the second decimal place, I need to look at the third decimal place, which is the 2. And that 2 is less than 5, so the number in front of it doesn't go up. It just stays the same as a 1. So my answer is 7.71 meters. Now the units are meters because I want the perimeter of that shape. Now perimeter is like you're walking around the outside and you want to know the distance around the outside. So that is just a length, not an area. So the units are just meters. Okay, I'll finish question 19 in the next video because this video is running out of time now.